They did. So, it's on. I guess I need to get a little angle there. And as long as we can see the lens, we'll be in it. It's kind of like a fisheye.
All right,
so we can talk to each other. What's your name, first of all?
I'm Dean Elliman. What's your name?
Jeff.
Jeff what?
Ryman.
Mr. Ryman. All right.
Yeah. So what do you think happens? The question I give everybody is, what do you think happens after this life? After we die, do you think there's another?
I don't know. I don't know. No one knows. We transcend. If we transcend, by definition, we're out of it.
Yeah. So obviously.
So is there migration from God down? If God wants it, I suppose so. Whatever happens, we will transmit.
Yeah. So you definitely believe in God and a kind of a spiritual existence that you believe. I'm assuming you believe in God.
Yeah. I mean. Okay.
Yeah. And
I'm not sure what that all is, but
yeah. When I say God, I guess I'm saying a higher power. I would refer generally to something that began, the creator that made all of this. I'm not necessarily saying the Christian God or anything like that, but just God. You would say you believe in that?
Probably not the way you're talking about it. No.
How would you explain God?
I can't. I mean,
one of
the way we view things, all right, is by no way, shape, the way it is. Okay, we're generally pretty egocentric. Okay?
Yeah.
The Earth is flat.
Yeah.
The Earth revolves around revolves around the Earth.
Yeah.
And we keep learning more and more. We are really immaterial. We're just a little.
Yeah.
So when you get to God, and then to get into the person of God and all those other things, I'm not just everything so activated.
Cut and dried and easy to understand.
Beautiful ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but it's not something I've got to worry about.
Yeah. Do you I'm very much in agreement that we could, our minds would be way too small to even understand God or comprehend Him or have any idea what it's all about, right? However, if God decided to reveal Himself to us, He would have the wisdom to know how to do that in a way that we can
comprehend. Do whatever He wants.
Yeah. So.
Or it could be done. It could be done any way they want.
Yeah.
It's above and beyond.
So my faith in man's ability to comprehend God would be based not on man's ability, but on God making it possible. It would be, see what I'm saying? The Bible calls it, the last book of the Bible is Revelations, right? It's revealed knowledge. So it would be God revealing Himself to us rather than us, maybe using our science or our methods to figure God out, right? Maybe even logic or...
That'd be a great waste of time.
Huh?
It'd be a great waste of time.
Yeah.
By definition, if you transmigrate, and if you go beyond, going beyond what could be known here, so you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Look at it this way here. Here's some way. Nothing's good or bad. Thinking makes it so. Okay?
Yeah.
So, an ant, good or bad? I don't know how you think about it. BLM, good or bad? That's how you think about it.
Yeah. So you feel like...
So we put the value.
Uh-huh.
Okay? I choose to put a value in being a good person.
Yeah.
I choose to put a value in doing certain things.
Yeah.
Okay? But a psychopath, it wouldn't matter.
Well, even decide what is good and what is not, So, we could choose to be a good person, but our definition of good is different than the next guy's, right?
But there is no value unless you place it.
Yeah.
So nothing's good or bad until you think it. Until
Yeah.
Okay, so...
So according to religion, or Christianity in particular, that goodness or badness would not come from us and defining it. It would be God determining, and so God giving, for example, 10 Commandments, or putting His law in our hearts, giving us a conscience and
God,
ability.
we're not even thinking those terms.
Huh?
We have no idea. And we transmigrate. It's beyond us. It's something we go to. They may not even think in those. I mean, they'll say God. They may not even think in those terms.
Yeah. Did you grow up with a religious background at all, or?
I was confirmed Episcopalian.
Oh, okay. And that would be what, in your teens, probably, confirmation? I was confirmed Lutheran. It was like 13 years old or 14.
Right, but baptized with the church. So
Yeah.
Lutheran, very close.
And do you feel like you've left those beliefs behind, or moved on to something different?
Well, I'm not sure I knew what I was doing when I was confirmed.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, like being baptized, So
there's a lot of cultural pressure to do.
You're
so,
brought
right?
into the tribe. Okay, here I am.
Yeah.
I don't really. You get to the Bible and that whole thing. I view the most of it as metaphoric, anyways.
So you feel like it's
an interesting thing. The Christian doctrine, I really think it needs to be separated from the Old Testament. I think it's a mistake to keep the two together.
Yeah. And have you read the Bible much since confirmation?
I've probably read more of it since than before.
Okay. Yeah.
But whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm no expert.
Yeah. Is there certain parts about your understanding of the Bible that you would reject and just kind of? I guess what I'm wondering is, you keep mentioning transmigration, right? Where does that belief come from? Like, did you come up with it yourself, or is there a certain set of?
Okay, so when you go to heaven.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just a fancy term for going to heaven. Oh, okay.
So, okay. Comment on the Bible. Good example. Reading the Bible, rereading it, a few years ago, and I was in the bit where the Jews are running around, taking Canaanite, slaughtering people. Basically, it's genocide.
Yeah.
They're going in and they're wiping people out.
Yeah.
And then they get to a certain point, and I can't name them, but in that story, they went through it. They had too many people, so they needed more land, and they took more land.
Yeah.
Because God wanted them to have that land because they had more people.
Yeah.
Wait a second. There's no plot stuck out. I just don't buy a lot of that.
It just sounds kind of arbitrary.
Highly.
Yeah.
It's according, again, someone said that, I don't know how it all happens, but somebody said, okay, what Abraham comes up and says, okay, this is our sky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though there's people living there already.
Well, that's not the point. Because it's our God, whatever, okay.
Yeah.
And then when they finally get around to doing it, well, we need a little more. So they get a little more.
Yeah.
So I mean, what does the Jewish religion tell you?
Well, that they would be God's chosen people.
Well, to go home.
Yeah.
To go home.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to go home, but to go home to your religion, to go home to your belief. Christianity, don't sin, right?
Yeah.
Buddha, what's Buddha? The Buddhists, don't suffer.
Yeah, or don't.
Prethro, read Prethro's book. God is not one. Steve Prethro. God is not one. And he goes through each religion. Each religion has its own message. Take away suffering, and you're going to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
Don't sin. Repent. Sin's taken away.
Yeah.
Everything's beautiful.
Would he say that most religions are very similar or very different from each other?
They each have a different message.
Yeah.
But you get kind of. He's saying they're different. God is not one. They're not saying the same thing.
I see.
They're not.
Yeah. So he's probably writing the book for those who would say they're all pretty much the same.
Well,
he's trying to debunk that, right?
Who are the Muhammad guys?
Muslims?
Islam,
yeah.
Surrender.
Yeah.
Surrender.
Yeah.
Okay. And that gets you. And doing that gets you close to your God.
Yeah.
And the result of that, the result of removing suffering and surrendering and removing sin, does that get you to the same spot? And I've never done them all at once. If I've done any at all correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I as a Christian, I look at all the different religions, and even people that don't have a good understanding of Christianity believe this, is that if you can jump through these religious hoops, or you can do this good, or you can fulfill whatever tenets of whatever belief, something that you can do. If you can do it good enough, then you have a reward in the end. The reward might be described differently. The religious actions or the goodness might be described in a different way. But
I'm going with Islam. I want all the virgins.
Yeah. So that's their.
Well, they get their paradise. They get the virgins and
so
murder out.
So the one thing that I believe makes Christianity unique, and what I read in the Bible, is that we can't save ourselves. God would be so holy that we can't reach God on our own efforts. We've already sinned. We've already broken His law. I've lied. I've stolen. I've used His name in vain.
Bad dude.
Yeah, and so I couldn't reach God on my own. I need someone to pay the penalty of what I've done, and that's where God comes in the picture and enters into the world in the form of His Son and takes my sin and the penalty of my sin for me in my place. Okay. And so it's not me saving myself. There's nothing I can be proud of as a Christian. Which I think it's the human nature is to want to be proud.
Yourself, by following Jesus. So did you follow Him properly? It's judged by somebody else.
Yeah. Well.
So you can't try to save yourself.
The way Jesus described it.
Or back in the day, buy a few indulgences in your own way.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of human nature to want to earn our way for a reward, right? We want to be able to say, I earned this and that person didn't, and look, I'm better than them. To have it's called self-righteousness, and that's what Jesus was preaching against the Pharisees, in the New Testament. The people that were trying to prove their own goodness in the eyes of other men, right? Self-righteousness, and he was condemning them. They were the main people they were the only people, I think, as far as I know, that he was criticizing. And so the Bible says, no, we need God to make us righteous. We can't make ourselves righteous. We need God to do it for us. And Jesus called that, He said, you must be born again. So he said, you're born physically, but you need to be born spiritually. And so that's what I experienced. And And so I can't look back and say, here's something I did that sets me apart from anyone else. It's more like, here's what God did in my life. It's here's something God did, which I can't, and I know it wasn't because I'm a good person or because I'm not. I'm a very sinful person, So I don't know if you've ever, so I feel like, I do recognize that all religions have strong ethical systems and moral value, and they all teach there's a path to God, but the path comes through our own efforts. Whereas in Christianity, it's through the efforts of what Jesus did on the cross, which is very different. So I feel like that's what makes it unique,
Well, I mean, that's how you feel. And I'm not gonna, I'll leave you with a thought, okay?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. It was a really fine day in human history when instead of deciding to eat the other human, you decided to make him your slave.
Uh-huh.
Think about that. now.
Say your first name again. Was it Lee? Dean. All
anyway,
right.
You have a great day.
Here, let me give you my card. You can see. I'll put this on the YouTube channel. And if you don't want me to, I got the number here. So if you change your mind. There you go. It's about 2/3 of the way down on the other side. That's the church I go to. But
poor people.
Huh?
Listen to us, poor people. Take care.
All right, take care, Dean.
Oh, sorry. I do apologize. I live here. I'm just super.